Hi, YouTubers.
Good morning, YouTube.
Thanks for subscribing. You got over 100 subscribers, which I know was super expensive, like free. But no, thank you for doing that. We put out a plea last week to get to over 100, which gives us a different dynamic online, right? Yeah. So
Custom URL. Do tell. What is it?
anyway.
A dedicated address.
The reason we ask for our listener support is because we, for our name to URL to take you directly to our website, we need to have 100 subscribers for YouTube.
Get it.
Otherwise, we have to give the URL.
Sure.
Subscribe, and that's hard to put into a search engine.
Yeah.
So this will kind of bridge a lot.
So now people can just go, if they subscribe on YouTube, which is free, they can just go Hot Stove Society radio show and boom, up it comes.
Yeah. I don't know
If that was the goal, you're behind.
Yeah, let's figure that out before next week, I hope.
I like that.
All right. And if you're watching us right now, if you're tuning in on Friday morning when we're normally here, we've already taped the show on Wednesday because I'm out of town this Friday. So we're taping it earlier at Hot Stove on Wednesday. We appreciate that you're jumping in. And let's get the show on the road because we have a lunch here at noon, right?
Yeah. No trivia today, too.
Smells good. Chef Annie is
No way. What happened?
There's no trivia today.
There's no trivia today? That's got to be the trivia then.
Look at
Chef.
I know. I was like, what?
Look at their faces.
She's playing, Tom.
No,
She's
no.
playing us. She's playing us.
I'm serious. We're having a new what did I call it?
You know, last time you tried to do this, we lost 100,000 viewers. Yeah, I mean, you know that, right? Instantly.
We're having a Rub with Love speed round interview questions with the hosts.
Success. You know, she's been thinking about this for 6 months now, trying to go.
I think it's that she got late notice on the show. I'm going to trust that it was my fault that we don't have trivia today.
Totally.
So
she can not only try what she wants
I'll
to try,
take one for the
but she
team
can also
here.
blame you.
I
That's
apologize to our listeners right now.
Oh, but it's going to be equally as fun.
I don't believe you.
Well, you know what? We'll see how the rating goes. Because that's one thing about TV or radio. You get ratings.
All right, you guys ready?
Really?
Oh, here we go.
And analytics. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio. Here's Tom Douglas.
And Terry Roturo, the chef in the
Yay,
hat.
good
Coming to you from the
morning.
beautiful Hotel Andra. Our producer Pamela's here. Sean, Mr. Technician, is here. And Chef Annie Elmore is in the background making all sorts of noise in the kitchen.
And boy, does it smell good.
Cookies.
Just
Just
cooking away.
Just cooking rice over there. I'm owner of a few joints here around town, including Seatown Restaurant in the North End area of the Pike Place Market, Serious Takeout in Ballard and downtown, and soon to be in Totem Lake, the end of spring.
Woo!
And then also, of course, right down below us here at the Hot Stove Society is the restaurant Lola and a Carlisle room up by the Paramount Theater. So we have lots going on. Dahlia Bakery's across the street. This is my hood.
And tons of cooking demonstration here at this school. So that's really awesome.
And we're in the beautiful Hotel Andra. Come and stay and play sometimes. Do a nice little staycation down here.
Yeah.
Pamela, do we get a discount on the rooms here from like the Hot Stove Society discount?
Absolutely. There's
So-
a link on every class listing and the radio show listing. It varies a little bit based on seasonality and occupancy, but it usually starts at about 20% off the rack rate.
Nice.
See? So it's even, just use our names.
That buys your dinner at Lola.
Yeah, good point.
I hope so. Just use our names, right? Just say Chef Tom sent me. And do it with kind of a smug.
And if they say,
smugness.
who's Chef Tom?
Say, Chef Tom sent me. Something like that, right?
Say it convincingly.
Okay, if you want a bigger discount, say, Chef Terry sent me.
That's the one where you get out of town.
Today, we have a large show for you today, including peak of the season artichokes. Looking forward to that. The Persian New Year menu, pronounced a Persian New Year menu. And we're going to riff on Annie's savory puff pastry carrot tart.
See if you guys can improve on hers.
Why would we want to?
Why would
It's
we want to if
delicious,
it's
and she's here to
delicious?
talk about it, and believe me, she will think that we cannot. Lastly, we quiz our host. Pamela has, in her infinite wisdom, has decided to eliminate food for thought, tasty trivia today. And I don't turn off your radio right now. She's not going to. That's still 2 hours away. But we're going to have a different little game to play at the end of the show, brought to you by Rub with Love's Spice Rubs. So, once again, we had a very successful Ukrainian refugee benefit
Yes,
here at the Hot Stove.
congratulations,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Thanks to our listeners who came, and thanks to other friends of the Hot Stove who came, and thanks to all the Ukrainian neighbors that we have here in Seattle. Some brought food, some brought music. We even had a sing-along with an interpreter, a Ukrainian interpreter, who was evacuated to Warsaw, Poland. We had a live feed from
Wow.
Warsaw, Poland, with a Ukrainian woman who actually did a little sing-along with us in Ukrainian right here in the Hot Stove. So it was quite a night. It's so hard for me because I just want to be joyful about what we accomplished.
Right.
But I am so sad about what's going on over there.
Well, it's too bad we have to do this for the
Oh,
reason that it's
it's
of
horrific.
what's going on.
I
So-
can't take my eyes off of CNN.
But you know what? Let's keep supporting these people because
Don't forget about it.
they're fighting a serious fight. They're
Yeah.
fighting a life fight.
Yeah.
And their resistance is showing why we need to, do away from those dictators and from
Yeah. Stay strong. Don't turn the channel and just try and live off in your own little place. We all have to stay aware of what's going on. My taste of the week came from that benefit, the Ukrainian benefit. And Pamela, I don't know if you know the name of these cookies or not, but Irina, the baker, we call her Irina Honey Cake because she brought a beautiful honey cake. But she also brought these little walnut cookies.
Ethereal.
They were unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The texture.
So
and
it was like
flavor.
a little bit of a tweel. No, not a tweel. That's the wrong word. But it's a crispy little cakey
Like a gaufrette texture.
gaufrette. Yeah.
like a wafer.
Yeah, like maybe like a little bit of a Madeleine dough. And then on the inside was almost like a truffle, like a walnut truffle, but no chocolate. It was just
Caramel.
caramel, ground walnuts, butter is my guess.
Sean's gonna tell us.
Sean knows.
I mean, 'cause she was nice enough, there was one left, and they let me have it, and I took it home, and I kind of forgot it was in my backpack, and I tasted one, and I immediately ate the whole box.
Yeah.
Wasn't it unbelievable?
It was maybe the best sort of sweet thing I've had. I can't remember. Even a nice
Yeah.
plate of dessert. Nothing against all the amazing food I've had in Seattle, but it's like, wow.
It just was a surprise.
a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
Okay,
take part in the
So,
culture.
let's get the recipe.
Are they in the Ukrainian cookbook? You know?
No.
Let's
no.
get the
I
recipe.
couldn't- I couldn't find them anywhere online.
I'll ask if she'll share the recipe
Yeah,
for sure.
that would be. That
But
would
here's
be.
the thing. She said it took her all day to make the cookies that she made.
They're
It's
so
hard.
delicate and
Let's put
stuff.
a challenge up to all listeners and
Okay,
see.
we'll get the recipe and get it out.
Yeah,
there.
let's see. Let's see if we can get that going.
But
That
all
would
of
be-
us just looked at each other and we're just like, "Oh my god, that is so good!"
That's awesome.
And normally, I would say, normally things like that are good and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But she's a pro. I didn't realize she was professional.
Yes.
She went to culinary school and she works at Tutabella.
Oh, so
Is that
she's
what
a
I heard?
You know what
Oh.
she does now? She makes those beautiful gnocchi that Lisa Nakamura used to have under
Oh
her
yeah,
label.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she sold to Tutabella. But Irina is the one that is making the gnocchi now,
Oh, I see.
which is why they're so perfect. And she is completely passionate for gnocchi. She'll go on and on about how to eat it with
Oh,
bacon.
that is so awesome.
Okay, chef, what's your taste of the week? Try and top that one.
Okay. I'm not gonna top it. I'm gonna equal it.
Okay.
I went for the first time to a place called Musang.
How do you spell it?
Musang.
Okay.
And it's on Beacon Hill, and it's a nice
Sure,
little.
it's Beacon Hill.
Yes, I'm sure. I had to. I was kind of wondering if it was true earlier, but that is Beacon Hill. Beautiful little, almost like a house converted into a restaurant, and with a very nice patio. I was sitting on the patio, and the food is Filipino. I mean, they're Filipino, and they're trying to bring their culture into the food they're doing. But more importantly, I think they're also doing something that I always love when people do that. Like I had to do that, I feel, is to try to find a little bridge to bring the food up to the people so they can actually eat it, enjoy it, and really, really appreciate it for what it is.
And understand it culturally too.
Right.
Yeah.
Understand the culture as well. And I think that's really cool. There, Melissa is the chef owner, and she, I think super smartly done Filipino food. And I had like a whole pompano on the bones. That was scrumptious,
Mhm.
super delicious. The drink, the cocktail, Kathy had a cocktail that was very intriguing to me, and almost like I was poo-pooing it in my head, thinking that's gonna be way too sweet for me. I don't want that. It was nothing like
You
that.
said it was coconut and bourbon.
Yeah, and it was really, really well balanced and surprisingly delicious
Uh-huh.
for me. Obviously, I know they've tried it before. I'm sure they tried it before they gave it away, and it would be good. But definitely something I didn't think I was going to necessarily like, and it was delicious. The whole meal was super, super delicious, well executed, and tasty, and nice assemblage of Filipino food and introduction to Filipino food as well.
Uh-huh.
So it was really, I would definitely recommend people to go try it because it was definitely delicious.
So Musang, Musang
Correct.
on Beacon Hill.
Yeah,
Check it out.
absolutely.
I will
Worth a
check it
trip
out.
for sure.
All right. You've been getting out and about, haven't you?
You
Last
know
week
what?
it was
I'm
a
loving
restaurant.
Jealous.
I'm
Last
loving
week was a restaurant in South White Center.
Yeah,
This week-
Tomo was delicious.
Yeah.
And next week I'll tell you all about Off Alley.
Okay. It's oddly enough peak of the season, harvest time. This kind of cool, misty weather in the Central Valley down there in California, where artichokes grow. So we're going to talk about those on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Sean, do you have a piece, like a 1 minute piece of I always thought we could use it for those days.
Hi, Amy.
Good morning.
Happy birthday. You need sunshine today? Happy birthday. There we go. Yeah. That works. Capital of artichoke is Gilmore.
Castroville. Is it Gilmore?
Wait, is it Gilmore or Castroville?
I say
Castroville.
Castroville.
Oh, you're right, Castroville.
Gilmore is garlic, isn't that right?
That's right. That's right. I get confused again.
Thank God I was
Beacon
here.
Hill. Yeah, thank God. Castroville. Yes.
Inkley, you look distracted.
Oh, I didn't add notes that I wanted to about perennial versus annual artichoke. So it's the perennial ones that are blooming now,
Well, look it
which
up.
is why we have
Yeah, because the annual are not up yet.
their an
Not
annual
here, for
are
sure.
not ready. So
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
good knowledge.
But the-
Why don't
are
you
the-
just bring that up? We're back. It's the Hot Stove, downtown Seattle, 4th of Virginia, right in the Hotel Andra above Lola. We have our producer clapping for us. And Sean, you had a laugh
No.
track. Can you put the laugh track on so we feel like we have an audience today?
Yeah,
There.
that was funny.
I
That was
totally
really
agree.
funny.
Don't tell them why we don't have an audience. We had to change our
We have to
day,
change our taping
our
days.
taping day.
My name is Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in a hat.
And our producer here is Pamela Hinkley. Artichokes, it seems like a bit of an odd time, but it is time for the artichokes. And, Pamela, over at our farm in Prosser, we haven't even planted our artichokes yet.
Right.
So how is it that in California they have ones that are they're picking already?
Because there are two varieties grown, perennials and annuals. So it's the perennials that are now ready to be harvested because after the harvest, they just cut them back and then they push in the
Uh-huh.
spring. And that's what we're getting,
I
the
did not know- I
globes
did not-
out of the perennials. And the annuals will be a summer harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I did not know you could keep artichoke in the ground. I guess maybe in California they can't. I don't think you could here. Could you?
I think I have seen them come back in mild
Oh, yeah?
winters.
Well, we have
Yeah,
certainly have had cardoons winter over and
absolutely.
yeah.
Right, right.
that are
That's
often
true.
up
That's
and
true.
going at this point. So, but we have not even started the seed yet at the farm for her planted seed yet
Right,
at the
right.
farm for artichokes. So.
But what
Okay,
a great-
Chef, tell us what you would do. My favorite place to see artichokes is on the train, either in southern France or in Italy, where you drive by those monstrous fields
Yeah.
of kind of purplish green artichokes.
There is two different,
Carciofi in Italy.
yeah, there is two different fields you see that are super beautiful. Actually, three. There's lavender in the south of France,
Mhm.
which sometimes you see fields of it, and it's really impressive and
And
beautiful.
fragrant.
Yeah, very fragrant. Artichoke, and then tournesol, which is sunflower.
Sunflower, yeah.
I mean, those fields of sunflowers are so beautiful too. So
Up in Scotland, you see fields of rapeseed, which is what they make canola oil out
oh
of.
yeah. That's
And
true.
of course, up in Canada,
Right.
I want to say lots and lots and lots, or most of the mustard grown in the world is up there in.
But you know,
Canada.
for me, artichoke reminds me of spring only because I'm thinking of the mixture of artichoke, peas, maybe a little pork belly or bacon. You know,
pretty
something
soon
like
asparagus, just that little-
asparagus,
yeah.
and then morels. You
and
know, it's like
first of the season, Walla Walla sweets.
Yeah. all those different components are definitely spring in Seattle. You know,
Mhm.
and nettle, you can make a nice little puree of nettle and make like
Ugh.
almost like a pesto.
Ugh.
No, I know you.
Why do such good chefs like nettles? It's just
It's not-
We don't
it's
do
really a flaw in
nettles,
your
no.
character.
No, it's a grassy.
It's a flaw.
It's a
Thierry.
grassy.
I
You
hate to
can
break
make a
it
nice
to you.
little pesto with it.
You can use
Yeah,
basil
that's
too.
very
enough
inexpensive.
garlic
You can
and
use
lemon.
basil too.
It's very inexpensive if
Yeah.
you're wearing glove. If you're not,
They're
you're gonna
gross.
have
Okay, let's go back to artichokes.
yes.
So in my mind, this time of year, I love to get the baby artichokes, right? The first flush.
Sure,
They pick them when they're small. They haven't developed a choke yet.
correct.
And I like to take the smallest ones, and you have to take off maybe the outer leaves, but don't
Right.
cut off the stem.
No,
And you maybe take off the tip a little bit, maybe a quarter inch or half inch of
Right.
the top. And then you just literally quarter them or eighth them, depending on the size, but got to make sure they haven't developed a choke yet.
Right.
You'll see the little grassy bits, the choke in there, but it's still soft and,
Correct.
and supple. And then I just, I dredge those in, acidulated water. I just, do that. And then I just dredge them in semolina and deep fry them. And I love fried
deep fried
artichokes with
Ooh.
just a beautiful, simple aioli, which is garlic mayonnaise, right?
nice dipping sauce.
Boom, done. And I just think that is one of my favorite vegetable appetizers.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very well. It's extremely texturally. It's extremely satisfying.
Mhm.
When you eat an artichoke, a small, especially baby artichoke, you eat the whole thing. So texturally, it's very satisfying. It's got a little bit of crunch, a little bit of soft. It's got a bit of everything in it. So,
Mhm.
and the flavor is really good. It's a vegetable that keeps its flavor.
Well, especially, I mean, you say that, and there's a reason why it's more flavorful, say, than sometimes when you get a big artichoke, because a
Right.
big artichoke you tend to put into a pot of water and you steam away a lot of the flavor, right?
Correct.
And then when you chill it, you rinse it in cold water. You
Right.
rinse away a lot of the flavor. And
Mhm.
when you can use these things without doing all that process, they actually taste more intensely
True.
of artichoke.
And it's one baby vegetable that actually seems more intensified in flavor.
Right.
You know,
Whereas
some-
like a baby carrot doesn't always have the same intensity as a
correct.
full-grown carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be actually the opposite from a bigger carrot. You know, it seems to have less flavor on the carrot
Uh-huh.
when it's a baby, a more tender flavor. But yeah, baby artichokes are fabulous. I mean, it's such a great appetizer on the table. You confit them slowly, cook them in olive oil with a bunch of olives,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and do that as an appetizer.
Just
like a
whole
little
herbs and whole cloves of garlic. Yeah.
garlic, rosemary, which is in your garden right now, baby artichoke cut in half in olive oil, lots of olives. Put the whole thing together in the oven very slowly, like 300, 325 for probably an hour and a half. And then it's totally tender. And you take that out of the olive oil and you make a nice little antipasto kind of idea.
But
you
you
know.
can use the olives too.
Oh, you use
definitely,
everything, the olives and the artichoke, absolutely.
Mhm.
And then the olive oil, you can mix it with a little bit of lemon juice, you know, make a nice little dressing with a little mustard, put the whole thing over that, and you get some beautiful little appetizer shredded. You zest some citrus right on top of that and serve crostini next to that. And
When I first moved to Seattle in 77, like that 77 to 85 area, artichokes were on every menu.
oh yeah,
And they were typically steamed first and then, obviously prepped. You take the stickers off. At that
Right.
time, they didn't have the hybrids without the stickers.
right.
So you could scissor off the stickers, you take off the top, you steam them, and then you force them open and you stuff it with either breadcrumbs or something, and then you bake them.
Right.
And that was a very popular. Or you serve it cold. You'd scoop out the choke. You put shrimp salad in or something of that nature, and it was on every menu in town. And coming from the East Coast, we didn't have that artichoke culture, right? This just came up from Castroville, where artichokes are king.
I used to do an artichoke bottom stuffed with. I would take a squab and take the breast.
I remember I had that dish.
Take the breast, and then all the innards of the squab. I would make a farce. Put that in the bottom of the artichoke. Put the breast on top. Wrap it up in crepinette, and then braise with a little bit of stock and wine in the oven gently till the breast was medium rare. And pull the whole thing off, and then cut it in half. So with a nice little julienne truffle kind of jus.
Pretty good, huh?
Oh my God! Oh my!
You know, when I was a young chef at the Hotel DuPont in Wilmington, Delaware, artichokes came in cans. You got the hearts, or you got the bottoms.
Right.
And even the fanciest hotels all had used canned artichokes at that time.
I guess because they don't grow them right on the East Coast.
No, they don't grow them there, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the time you put into prepping an artichoke plus the waste.
The waste.
You know, a single artichoke can weigh more than a half pound to 10 ounces. And you only end up with a couple of ounces worth of meat at the end of the day. It can be a very pricey.
When I was
vegetable.
a child, we used to grow them. My mom would just steam them, put them on the table whole,
right? And
you ate the leaves with a vinaigrette or mayonnaise, like an aioli idea, and then that's what you ate for dinner. And then the heart, you just put more dressing in it.
Yeah.
Cut it in small pieces, season it, and then eat the heart just
that
like
was
that.
Always the best part. It's like getting all the legs from the crab.
You couldn't wait to get to the bottom of the artichoke.
And scraping the meat off the leaves with the bottom of your bottom teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whoosh. Awesome. So delicious, as Chef Thierry would say.
Go to Castroville and have a feast.
I know. We are going to talk with Kian Pornor. We're going to talk with Kian Pornor about the kind of foods that you might find at an Persian New Year's party, which is just happened this last week, right?
It's a 13-day celebration.
13-day celebration. When we come back on Cairo Radio 97.3 FM.
So this is his pronunciation,
Kian Pornor.
Gary, this was a sweet letter to the chefs.
I want to figure out a place to put that in, Pam, so don't let me.
Yeah.
We could just get rid of Annie's segment.
Don't make her so happy.
I'll do it in the opening of hour number 2. Since we have two segments for spring dinner, we'll do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to get it in there.
And I have you all set up with headphones for phone calls.
Is it going to be out here or not?
I can.
Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Doesn't need
It will just give us a little bit better recording. if
All
it's
right.
Not in the speakers. And are you ready for me to call?
Yep.
Very sweet.
to. It's so charming.
Why is that paper here?
Because that book changed my life.
You say that about so many
My
books.
life continues to pivot.
You're an evolving spirit, you.
Exactly. Well, and I wish
Pamela has no sense of hyperbole, does she?
I wish I had done it from a young age, because he puts all of these menus with every guest list into a book that he and his wife wrote. So he always has menu and the invitees.
At his house, that's what he does. I mean, you go into his house.
I mean, come
He
on.
does a drawing for the day, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty intense.
Spectacular.
I wish I could draw. Because that would.
I bet you can.
Pam,
Everyone can.
there's no time like now. Just start doing it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how to draw.
I can teach you.
Pam does.
It's funny because
All right,
All
that's
the
one-
girls bring their milkshakers to the art. I can teach you. I can teach you. Isn't that how that goes?
I don't, I like your version better.
Yeah.
Nice.
Milkshakes to the
No
art.
stickers, huh? You draw that.
All
You
right.
drew that.
I'm getting Keon on the line here.
I'll be much more about putting stickers everywhere. Annie, are you having fun yet? Oh, good.
Smells like you burnt the cookies.
Hi,
No.
Tanya Black, social worker with the Department of Children, Youth, and Families.
You know what he's doing, right?
I'm a
He's trying to make it stronger than the coffee. Why do I have this song in my head?
Hello, this is Kian.
Kian, good morning. This is the team at Hot Stove Radio. How are you?
Great, Hot Stove. How are you?
We're good. Tom and I were both enchanted by your personality, and so glad we got to meet you Saturday night. And we're here with Terry
Hello, good morning, Kian.
and
Good
Sean.
morning. How are you guys?
Good.
Keon, this is Sean here in the hot stove. I was wondering are you on speakerphone right now?
Yes.
Could we maybe get you off speakerphone just for the audio quality for the recording, if that's possible?
Is this better?
Much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yay, thank
Okay,
you.
great.
Perfect. Thank
Great.
you.
All right, Tom's gonna take it away, and you're gonna educate us.
Hi, Keon.
You bet. No problem. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. I'm surprised you're still alive after having to eat that dinner on Saturday night.
Well, I was with Renee. I think that she paces me really well.
That's right. There you go. Okay, you ready, set here?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Keon Pornor, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's the name.
Welcome back to the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio. My name is Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in a hat.
And Chef, all throughout this first couple of months of our year, different countries celebrate their new year.
Correct.
According to ancient calendars and the stars and the moons and you name it. It's interesting how everyone uses the earth in general for their own timepiece.
Sure.
We were with Pam and I were with a gentleman named Keon Pornor on Saturday night doing a benefit with Fair Start. And we were talking about, Pam, you got talking to Keon about the Persian New Year.
Right, because he was ready to make a feast for his friends, and we need to know more and hear about the food.
So Keon is on the line with us. Hi, Keon.
Hi, Kian.
Hi, how are you?
Super awesome. Tell us what you told Pam. What are you making for Persian New Year? And tell us why is it special to you?
There are so many things that you make. First of all, Nowruz, or what is called New Day, is the spring equinox, and Persians usually celebrate it as their first day of spring and first day of the new year. And it's not only Iran, it's from Mongolia all the way to Balkans. They actually celebrate it as their new year, their official new year.
Yeah, it makes so much sense with all the brightness of spring and the new growth and everything. That does make sense to me instead of the middle of the icy winter.
Yeah, it makes for a bright start.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons whenever you're cooking anything, it has to deal with vegetables, not the frozen tundra anymore,
Right.
but fresh vegetables that you're getting out of ground, from fenugreek to dill to anything that is green. You mix it with Persian rice, and the way that you cook it is a little bit different from other rices because you definitely drain the rice a lot more and wrap the lid in a towel so it actually brings the moisture back inside of the rice to elongate it.
Huh.
So the more elongated the rice will get, the better of a cook you are, apparently. And also, don't forget about the bottom of the pan.
The best part.
The best part of it is that I call it the Persian chip, potato chip, because it's caramelized rice basically at the bottom, and it's slow cooked for 2 hours, and it's delicious. Most of the saffron that you're using inside of the rice, most of the butter that you're using inside of the rice goes all the way to the bottom. It caramelizes it to perfection, and it's very, very delicious. Also, we cook any kind of a fish we can get our hands on. Salmon is one. Usually salty fish also is another kind that any kind of a salty fish that we get, it's good also. But again, it's about renewal. It's about reflection. It's about eating with family. One of the things that we do for 13 days from the beginning of the new year, everything in Iran is basically closed. And nothing is open. And a lot of people go to each other's houses in order to make a visit. Usually the younger people go to elderly houses, and the elderly come and visit the younger house, or they will make a big feast and invite about 50 or 60 people of close relatives and friends together to come and eat. And those are one of the parties that you always want to be involved with. Because
Yeah,
when you
invite
go there,
me.
I mean, you just eat for hours, and then you relax and eat a little bit more, and they're constantly feeding you. You feel very well taken care of.
So if you're gonna go visit Iran, this would be the time of the year to go.
Yeah.
Yes, this would be the best time of the year to go. The first 13 days, and on the 13th day, you actually go outside and you give thanks to nature. So you will have a picnic with your family outside in the park, outside of the city, and that's the appreciation of nature as well, and the welcoming of the spring.
That sounds beautiful.
It really does sound good. Okay, so I love Persian rice. What else are we going to serve with this feast?
Well, oh my God.
Let's start
beef
this process.
salad is another one. Beef salad is very good.
Oh, that's
one of
Tom's
the things
favorite.
That is remain. Yeah. Do you guys like it? It's perfect. It's
Terry
great.
and I like it. Tom, we haven't won him over to
But
beef
I've never
yet.
had a Persian beet
Oh,
salad
you got to
before.
do it Persian style.
Yeah.
You would
That
like
would-
anything that you do.
So what makes it Persian style? Tell us.
A little bit different is the sauce that we are using inside of it is usually vinegar and sirke. So that is like a very, very light white vinegar that we use. We roast the pistachios also, and tarragon, and just beets, and it's delicious. It's really, really good, and maybe a little bit of an olive oil. I really like beet salad. At least
Yeah, me
maybe it's
too.
an acquired taste. And maybe Tom will get used to it one day, but at least for Persians, it's something really good. Also, different kind of things like mustard khiyar is also very, very common in Iran to make as a side dish that you add to fish as well. So it's a yogurt that is strained, very, very thick yogurt, cubes of cucumber. So you cut it very, very small and very cube, and mint and salt. That's basically what you use, and you garnish it with rose petals, dried rose petals.
Mm.
And that one also is a really, really good side dish that you have, that you add to fish, that you add to rice, and you eat with kadi.
So you add it
That's
as
Renee Erickson's favorite.
you add
What
it
is
as as a sauce rather than as an actual side dish.
You can add it as a sauce. People use it as a side dish. They use it in many different ways. So it's almost like tzatziki, but it's a little bit of a different taste. It's much thicker than a tzatziki, and
Right.
it doesn't have any garlic inside of it.
Oh, interesting.
Got it.
All right, so we have
Yeah.
fish, and what did you call that again?
Sabzi polo.
Say,
Sabzi polo was the rice. Fish was the mahi. And mustard khiyar was the cucumber, mint, and yogurt,
I see. Okay,
and also beet salad.
right. Now, do you do any meat during this time, or is it a meatless event?
We don't do a lot of meat at this time. Fish is usually what we do because it's very light. Coming out of winter, that you usually do a lot more protein because there is no sun and anything else. At this time, I think that we want lighter food. So lighter food definitely wins the day. So fish, rice, yogurt, beet, very, very simple things that we bring to the table is really, really good. And that's what they do. I actually did a benefit for Viet, for Afghan refugees on Monday night for 12 people. And I cooked exactly the same things that I'm telling you. And it was very, very good. I also included the Israeli cucumber salad. It wasn't Persian, but you know what? It's from the same place.
Right. And of course, I'm sure there is some sweets that follows all this.
Oh my God! Of course it is. It's Persian brittle or sohan. You get a wheat flour, saffron, and a bunch of other things that you add almonds, pistachios, and you basically cook it really, really hard and hot, and you make it cool down, and it makes it very brittle. This thing is so addictive and so sweet that when you take a bite of it, you want to eat the whole thing. So kids love it. It's perfect. You know, and a lot of other things that we eat is made with a lot of different ingredients of flour and everything else. So it's delicious. The sweets are very light. They are very, very airy. They are not very heavy sweets.
Any citrus?
Any what?
Citrus like oranges or?
No, nothing citrusy really. I mean, there is nothing there. It's usually sweet mostly than anything else. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So one thing that got by me, but I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, you're not surrounded, but you have the Caspian Sea on one side of you, and you have the Persian Gulf on the other side. The Caspian Sea, isn't that where you get a lot of sturgeon caviar? Have you put caviar in this mix?
Yes, that's the place that you get caviar, Persian caviar especially. Yes, there's a lot of inlets that goes into Mazandaran. That is one of the provinces very close to Caspian Sea, and that's the place that you usually get the caviar, and it's delicious. Beluga caviar, you know, and Persian caviar, you know, those are really, really good. And we are still exporting it, which is perfect. And as a kid, I used to eat that as a kid in the morning. My mom used to put it
Good
on a
breakfast.
cracker, butter, and caviar. You know, before I was going to school, not knowing that the bougiest thing that anybody can do, that eating caviar in the morning and giving it to their kids.
With
And
butter.
I'm like, they were giving me caviar in the morning. You must have had a lot of money, but no.
Well,
People eat caviar all the time.
between caviar and saffron, you get the two most expensive
I
item
know,
in the supermarket.
exactly.
It is. It's more expensive than gold
I know.
per pound.
Kian Purnor has been our guest. We've been talking about the Iranian New Year or Persian New Year, and we're talking about how bougie he is.
Sorry
All
about that, but it comes with the territory.
No problem. Thanks so much for joining us and
thank you.
sharing some of your cultural history.
You're the best, Kian. Thank you.
so much for having me.
Thank you.
you so much. Great guys. Bye
All
bye.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Up next, we're going to talk with Annie Elmore, chef here at the Hot Stove, about some beautiful carrot puff pastry tarts that she's been making for some of our guests. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
He's awesome.
Wow,
fun.
he's terrific. No, he just had this when we met him Saturday. I could tell he just had a special light about him.
No, it's very fun. So does he has a restaurant? No.
No.
No, he and Renee were a surprise guest at our benefit on Saturday night.
When you say Ronnie Binky?
No, Renee Erickson.
Oh, Erickson. Got it.
I made her come back in the kitchen to help me cut the duck.
I bet she hasn't been in the kitchen. Has she been in the kitchen lately?
I don't think so.
No.
No, she
She's
said,
been
"Oh,
traveling for her book.
she's how hard it is, this and this and this," and then all of a sudden, well, I've been in Mexico and I've been in France.
Yeah, I mean, she
She's a
just
sweetheart.
she just wrote that book. She was traveling everywhere.
Yeah, she's such a sweetheart.
That book looks actually really cool. I can't wait to see. I haven't seen it, but
The one that we had her on the show for. Yeah.
yeah.
I gave you a copy.
No. Did you give me a copy?
Maybe I didn't. She gave me a copy to give to you.
That's different.
Chef Annie, let's go. I don't know what's taking so long. You're not that far away. I guess you have small legs. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio 97.3 FM. I'm Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in the hat.
And we're joined with by Annie Elmore, chef here at the Hot Stove Society.
And she's ready.
And she's ready. Yeah, exactly. Is her sound on, Sean? I don't hear her. You better now? Okay. Let's do that again.
That was one way to get through you. Not putting the
I'm
sound on.
glad I actually had my headphones on. Or I wouldn't have known that sound was on. We are back in the Hot Stove Society kitchen here in downtown Seattle, where Chef Annie Elmore runs the show, along with Sean over here on the technical side. Chef Annie, we've walked in a couple of times this last week. I have, and seen this beautiful carrot tart that took me by surprise. A couple of things. One is that you making a carrot tart was a surprise to me.
I was surprised too.
Why
Yeah.
is that?
I don't know. I don't know where you got the idea from, and I just
I love carrots.
You love carrots. I was very impressed. Secondly, it actually tasted good too.
Wow, that is the biggest compliment I've ever
Yeah.
heard from Tom the last 10 years.
So
Actually, is the key word.
It's
Yeah.
the only one you've ever gotten.
anyway, it was it's not often that something that looks so pretty is actually awesomely delicious too. So, Terry, this tart is right up your alley. It's got a little puff paste. What's the filling?
So on the bottom, I layer it with goat cheese that mixed with heavy cream to
Mhm.
thin it out a little bit. And then on top is a mint and pistachio pesto and with a little bit saba.
And do you do any of the carrot top in the pesto?
No, I did not. But what I did with the carrots that Pam loves was I mixed it with our rub with love veggie rub,
Hello.
and I roasted
Oh.
it to hype up the flavor a little
So
bit.
yes, I was gonna say you mentioned everything but the carrots. So you take the carrots and you roast them.
Yeah, so I roasted with the veggie rub that we make here.
So the veggie rub has got lots of fennel, a little bit of garlic,
Yep.
coriander.
I think it
it's
would
really
be.
fragrant.
Yeah. I mean, that's my favorite rub, especially on vegetable because I love fennel. And I thought it added a little bit nice texture and also flavor. I mean, goat cheese is kind of bland,
Mhm.
and then the carrots is sweet, but there's not a lot of substantial flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the veggie rub is a great way to go.
All right, so you peeled your carrot. You use like a small carrot or a medium size?
Yeah, I use baby carrots, so
Baby,
that way you
okay.
can keep it whole and you can lay it on the tart and make it look pretty.
That's
Yeah.
part of the charm of the visual. Is
Yeah,
that-
it's
whole carrot's
beautiful
on
and
there, yeah.
symmetrical.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, so now we've got the puff pastry. Now, my concern when you said you mix goat cheese with cream is that, and you put it on the puff pastry,
It's gonna get soggy.
that was my concern, is that it gets soggy before the puff pastry actually cooks. How do you get around that?
Well, you don't mix a lot, just a little bit where you can be able to spread it a little
Okay.
bit. You're not making it into like a fondue. You just trying to help yourself from not tearing the puff pastry when you're trying to spread the
I
goat
see.
cheese.
So you're doing this on a raw puff pastry to bake
Yes.
afterward.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I thought at the beginning I thought the puff pastry was baked, but no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, got it.
So that
Okay.
way, whichever the rim that you have, it kind of rise up and make it look more.
I get
So you
you.
keep the carrots off the rim so that the rim of
Yeah.
the puff pastry can rise up around the carrots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally cool.
And okay, so now we've got the puff pastry, and you
Mhm.
can use that. There's a brand in the grocery stores called Dufour, Dufor, I think.
Oh, you are.
OUR, Dufour, and it's a really nice
Oh,
product.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you. OR.
OR,
Dufour.
Dufor.
Yeah.
Very nice product. It's in your freezer section at most grocery stores. And then so you pull out, you let it. You're not going to let it come up to room temperature. You're just going to keep it chilled, and then you spread on your custard of
Mhm.
goat cheese and
Let's just say if it's like a cup of goat cheese, about I don't know, 3 tablespoons of
Cream.
cream
Okay.
or milk, whatever.
And if you can't do dairy, cow's milk, you don't have
Yeah.
to use the cream. You just work the goat cheese
Yeah.
until you kind of whip it,
Yeah.
right? Then you spread that on, keep it about an inch from the edge of the puff pastry.
Yeah, I kind of scored the edges a little bit too to kind of create a little bit of a pattern.
Okay.
But if you don't want to, that's fine.
Yeah. And then so the carrots are then roasted.
Roast it first and then
with
cool
some
it down.
seasonings,
Yep, some
Preferably
seasoning.
Tom Douglas's rub with
Yeah.
love veggie rub.
Or pizza spice is actually really good with that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
good.
That would work.
Yeah.
So now our carrots are completely cooked, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now what?
So then I cool it down and I lay it kind of alongside each other. You don't really have to make it look exactly the same. If they're bigger ones, cut it in half and kind of flip it back and forth. Ideally, if I would have a choice, I would buy the rainbow carrots. Kind of make
Oh,
it
that
look
would be
much
beautiful.
prettier for
Mhm.
spring.
Yes.
But we weren't in spring yet, and it was, so baby orange is fine.
Yeah.
And then you just lay out, across the sheet. So I
But
don't.
the key is what makes it so pretty is that you're laying them out vertically.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at a painting, it would be like horizontally.
Yes.
You're laying it out.
Yeah.
And in whole lengths. When you say cut a carrot in half, you're talking about lengthwise.
Lengthwise,
not-
yes,
Yeah.
And and of course, not all carrots gonna be the same length.
Or
They're
size,
gonna
or
be
Not if
yeah.
they're good. No.
Yeah, and so they are like different sizes. So you kind of mix match, shorter ones,
Mhm.
and long ones. And if there's a little bit of gaps, that's fine because that's the beauty of it. It's an art,
Mhm.
and you just go along from one end to the other end, and that's it. And then I just baked it at 400 convection oven that we have. So if you're at home, non-convection, probably 425 for 25 to 35 minutes,
the-
depending.
The key is making sure that puff is cooked.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
bottom is nice, hard
Crispy. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
crispy. Yeah, because sometimes the top can be kind of deceiving. It could look already brown with the top. I mean, the bottom could be still
Right. Because of the
raw.
cheese
Yeah,
wetness.
exactly. Yeah,
So one of the trick to do is to put a little piece of parchment paper
around it.
on top of
Yeah.
your tart.
Yeah.
So it doesn't keep coloring the sides of it, doesn't burn it.
So another thing that I found out, I mean, I made this tart only a few times already, but the kind of a trick is that you need to lay the carrots right on top of the goat cheese because any goat cheese exposed, it will burn.
Oh yeah. Goat cheese is not meant to be baked like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you want the carrots to completely lay on top of that.
Yeah.
And then saba at the end, right before you serve it, and then with the pesto.
Which
So
is, by the way,
saba-
saba is a great must vinegar, which is
Mhm.
kind of sweet.
Yeah,
So it's really delicious to put that at the,
I
end,
know.
at the end of that top.
Yeah.
SABA.
SABA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple different brands out there, and they're usually all sweet. And
Mhm.
essentially, it's an unaged balsamic, an
Right.
unoaked
Yeah.
balsamic.
So delicious.
Yeah. Okay, and then you could sprinkle little Johnny jump ups over this, even in springtime, where you're starting to get little flowers. Would be pretty
So
on
pretty.
this.
Oh,
or
yeah.
chive blossoms.
Chive.
And or like if you can find carrot flowers, it'd be really
Yeah.
pretty on top of that as
Mhm.
well. And if you get the rainbow carrots and now the carrot flowers is kind of yellow and whitish, I think it would look great on it.
That's
Well,
cool.
it's been fun to walk in and see this tart because it's just a little bit unusual. Where'd you get the idea? Did you steal it out of the New York Times?
I actually don't have New York Times subscription. I'm that cheap.
I think we're gonna correct that.
She listens to you, Tom. She just listens for you. What's in the time today? It's called a subscription.
Well, if you ever want to come to one of Annie's classes, she's one of the instructors here, and she's a pistol.
They're all sold out.
Oh, they're all sold out. She's a pistol, so careful. bring some ear
Earmuffs.
earplugs because her language is a bit salty. I
Oh,
would
that-
say.
The guests
you
like
always
it.
need to have that seasoned.
Coming up, planning your spring dinner party. Annie might even join us for one or two of these segments. Customizing your carrot cake, all the deliciousness that's happening right now as spring blossoms in your yard. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
We should also say, and on YouTube.
Mhm.
Like the listener listen. And,
Yep.
Look. And on YouTube. We should put that in a dictation so we
Rory's
can.
I
Getting
will.
out of that baby stage and into the toddler look.
Oh,
It looks so different.
Oh man, that picture looks so beautiful. E.T., how you doing? We got a proud grandpa here. I saw it yesterday.
He's just looking so much more like a boy.
Oh, wait, that's not the same one. I saw the one of you and him when he's sitting on your lap.
Oh, yeah?
super cute.
So much alike. Ooh.
Gene pool
Oh,
is
yeah.
strong.
The gene pool is very strong between you, your daughter, and the baby.
I have a picture of the three of them sitting together, and it's like
It's
twinsies.
You can't deny that kid. It's a cute little baby. Is he a year old yet? Oh no, he's more than a year old.
Just turned.
Or just turned a year old. And he's walking or he's crawling still?
He's walking.
Oh, that's right. He was walking a few weeks ago. Now you got to follow him. All right. Spring dinner party. Planning.
My thought was people are so excited to get back together again and eating together and having dinner parties, which we've missed so desperately.
I was in the garden yesterday. It was so nice. I was in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I pulled some rib, red rib sorrel and some brown spinel that's starting to pop up at this high. I got beautiful chives, like beautiful thin chives, a whole bunch of it. All that, and my lemon balm is coming up, like a big batch of it is coming up. And yesterday,
Hold on for the radio
Save it
show.
for the radio.
Oddly enough, we're taping a radio show.
Save it for the radio.
on the radio,
We are back in
Uh-oh.
the hot stove kitchen here at the downtown Seattle. I'm Tom Douglas.
and I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in the hat.
Thanks for hanging with us over that long break. We're going to talk about planning a spring dinner menu. As Jackie, my wife, and Pamela have been talking about, it's so nice to actually think that we can have a dinner party again with
I
friends
know.
and family over.
That's exciting.
I mean, we've always had them. We just wore masks. It's not a big deal.
But I
But-
think it's cool to think about it and then plan it, and in 2-3 weeks from now have the actual outdoor, thinking of a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
65 degrees in Seattle and being in the backyard and having a nice little dinner. Oh man, I am looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. And other than the war in Ukraine, I mean, that's kind of tempering some of my
Yeah, the feeling.
joy
Yeah,
right now. But the idea of getting out there, and I will tell you what's joyful about spring is when we get letters like this at the show. We did a couple of benefits for Ukraine, and without us cooking, there's no benefit.
That's
But
right.
without you buying tickets and donating and all that kind of stuff, there's no benefit. It takes
Correct.
two to tango, right? So
Right.
we had many folks come during our benefit. And this, I just wanted to read a quick note before we get into our spring menu. And Chef, while I'm reading this, you can be thinking, we have a 5-course meal that we need here. We have 2 segments to do it in: soup, app, fish, meat, and dessert.
I'm in.
Okay, you're in? All
I'm
right.
in.
So Miriam Ing Manzon sent us a note and a check for $25. And we forget sometimes. It wasn't that long ago, Pamela, when we had, what was it?
Community loaves.
Community Loaves on the show to talk about people who get together and make bread in their own kitchens, and then for the food banks and for, I mean, it's one thing to get a loaf of bread when you're hungry. It's another one to get a loaf of homemade bread that has all the love and charm in it that can send your mind racing with possibilities. And
Yeah,
so,
you can taste the love and effort that goes into a homemade loaf. That's for sure.
yeah, Miriam said that she heard about Community Loaves on our radio show, and that she joined her local chapter up in Bellingham and has been doing it ever since.
Bravo.
Send us a check. And Miriam, hats off to you. I want everyone to talk to their radio right now and say, go Miriam.
Go, Miriam.
Go Miriam. Bread on
Yeah.
forever. So thank you for your note and for your check. Okay, Chef, let's make spring dinner. And I'm going to send you the soup. You got 3 courses here, so you
Well,
better have some creativity going on. Tell us
it's-
about your garden.
My garden. So
Well, it's spring.
in the garden yesterday, brown fennel is coming out. I have a lemon balm, beautiful lemon balm coming out. So it's young and tender right now. Because lemon balm is not exactly an easy one to cook with, but it's a great thing to take as an herb to infuse,
Mhm.
and have a broth from that. You could make a nice little cocktail, non-alcoholic cocktail, or for appetizer or dessert. It's a great part of the mint family, and lemon, basically. So, it's a nice combination. Um, what else do we have? I have carrots, the last carrots I pulled out of the ground, and those are super, super sweet. You know, we were just talking with Annie Helmore about carrots. You know, she has used baby carrots, but those are beautiful, mature carrots. Full
All
of
right, make a
sugar.
soup. Make a soup for me.
That would be the carrot soup. I would do a carrot soup, and I would do toasted cardamom, grated ginger, and I would do a soup with that, with the carrots. So saute the carrots in olive oil, cut them in pieces. Don't peel them, just wash them. Cut them in pieces, sauteed into olive oil, sliced onion added to that, grated ginger, sliced ginger added to that, and then toasted cardamom added to that. Little vegetable stock or water, one of the two. Reduce that down gently. Cook the carrots tender, everything tender, and then put everything through the Vitamix or the food processor. Strain it if needs to
A
be.
blender.
Yeah, through a blender and then strain it because of the cardamom and all that stuff. But put it through the blenders or the food processor so you get beautiful extraction of that seed. And then finished with grated orange, grated zest.
So wait. So now I've got a soup puree,
You got a soup puree.
and it's in the bowl. And now I'm going to do what with it?
So first you're going to take some young goat cheese, spring goat cheese, and then mix it with a lot of chives. Make a nice little kernel in the middle of your bowl. Put some grated zest oranges right on top of that, and then put the soup right around it. Hot.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the
your
cheese
goat
going to
cheese-
start melting.
Yeah.
And then as you eat, you'll have that creaminess going through your carrot soup. That's how you get rid of your winter carrots. They're super I mean, they're beautiful right now. They're full of flavor. So are the beets, by the way, the last beets of the year.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding. Good, beautiful earthiness, great amount of sugar. So that's another thing you could do is throw the beet in the oven while you're cooking your soup, roast your beets, and then do a nice beets and toasted walnut. And I know we always talk about walnuts you're not a big fan of, but toasted walnuts.
I
Really
made
nice.
a walnut butter stuffed pear, roasted pear yesterday. So who knows?
Yeah.
That's for my Mom and Tom event that's happening here on May what?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, May 8th, I think it is. I'm not exactly sure.
So roasted beet salad warm with grilled sardines on top.
no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Anyway, I'm going to reprise my artichokes because with your carrot soup, I'm going to make just a little Lillet cocktail, just a little spring cocktail. And I love that kind of thing, like either a little a Bianco vermouth, just a
Sure.
little lighter style vermouth or Lillet or something of that nature with the fried artichokes and the aioli. So remember, you're just taking the little baby artichokes, you're just trimming out the roughest outer edges, and then you're quartering or sixthing them. And then you're going to dredge them in semolina, and you're just going to deep fry them in vegetable oil and have little crispy artichokes to go with your Bianco,
What a great way to start the meal.
Yeah, and then your carrot soup. When we come back, it's time for the appetizer, the fish, the meat, and the dessert of our spring spectacular right here on the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Yeah.
That's going to be another
Stay and
3.
listen, because that's all that was right there.
Stay and listen?
Yeah, it's like you're trying to build it up so somebody stays and listens.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
I'm ironing my tablecloth.
They're not hanging up. They're not hanging
anticipation.
up on that. They're not hanging up. They're staying.
Gross.
She's ironing.
Ironing my tablecloth.
Just to get ready.
While she's listening, she's like, "Oh my
Oh.
god, I can't wait.
I
They're
can't
coming
wait.
over in a few hours."
That's gonna happen.
Eats with sardines.
Oh man,
God.
one
Don't
beet-
even talk to me.
That is so nutrient dense.
Yeah,
Don't even
That's
talk to
like
me.
pinnacle
Yeah.
of things that
Okay,
you can
when we
put
come
together.
back, you've got the appetizer and the meat, or the fish and the dessert.
whichever you want. I'll do the appetizer.
We only have 10 minutes.
Appetizer.
The thing I was trying to get to is balance too, like how you compose it so you've got I know. Rich on rich on
What do you
rich.
mean? We have a
No.
light vegetable soup.
That
we have
carrot soup is
carciofi free tea.
that carrot soup
We
is
have a little
90%
Lillet
carrots.
What is heavy about all that?
I know,
Except
it's
for
sick.
beet and sardine salad.
That is not heavy.
Jesus.
That is not heavy. Little baby sardines like this. you
Drop it,
grill them.
chef. It's not in our menu. There's no salad course in our menu.
Annie, warm beets, and grilled sardines.
Ugh.
Does that sound good or no?
Be honest, Annie.
Okay. See, this would be a good way to make you like beets, because you
We
like
are
sardines.
back in the Seattle kitchen. No, we're not. We are back in the hot stove. Chef Terry and Annie are discussing a beet and sardine salad, which we're going to drop from our spring menu. It's not appropriate. Chef, okay, now we have 10 minutes to do 4 more courses.
Who says
So don't-
Washington and says spring? Says asparagus, grilled asparagus, beautiful. I'm just going to turn on the barbecue because you're going to use it later in the meal probably. So
Okay, yeah.
it's a nice warm spring day. So I'm turning on the barbecue. I'm going to grill the asparagus, make a nice little lemon hollandaise. Simple, very, very simple. Lemon hollandaise and just zest of lemon, and don't touch a thing. It's actually beautiful the way it is. Don't mess that up. Keep it simple, very light, nice appetizer. Pam is like, "Oh, you guys gonna make it heavy?" I'm like, "No, I mean, what carrot soup is light."
Yesterday, I was doing the filming for my Mom and Tom event, and I bought some stuff that I would never buy this month. I would wait normally till April,
Right.
but I had to get the pictures. And it was this bunch of asparagus with some what I call church ham, that kind of country ham, little bits of. Anyway, it was quite delicious. Okay, so I'm on fish now,
Yeah,
right? And you said you did start the charcoal grill,
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
So I'm just going to take a simple piece of fish. If you want to go fancy, obviously salmon is out there.
Right.
If you want simple, light this time of year, halibut is out there. So
Sure.
it's hard for me sometimes because halibut doesn't have enough fish for me. It's a little lean for me, but people love it. So I'm going to make it. And my way of making halibut a little bit more moist is to make maybe a real olive oily breadcrumb or something. Lots of butter, lots of olive oil, put it in. And we're just going to put the fish on the charcoal grill. And I'm not looking to give it heavy marks or heavy smoke.
Sure.
I'm just picking up wisp of the charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to put the lid on and bake it in my charcoal grill.
Absolutely.
Right? And then
yeah.
now I've got my fish with a little crunchy breadcrumb topping on top. And I've already used aioli in my carciofi appetizer. Right. So a sauce for this might be just a little beurre blanc.
Yeah.
Just, take a nice...
you could do a warm
nice
vinaigrette.
Herbal,
Why don't you do a warm
vinaigrette sounds good.
Because I'm doing hollandaise. There's already butter. We don't want to keep Pam happy. She's too heavy.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So
want
I
too
like
heavy,
that. A little vinaigrette.
Yeah.
How do you say
Warm.
Vinaigrette.
it? A vinaigrette.
Voilà.
Yes.
You can. I'm. Wait a minute. Warm
Yeah.
vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, why
I
not?
don't do that.
No, it's good. It's a nice way to balance the acids and a little bit of fat, obviously, because it's a vinaigrette. So
All right,
anyway,
what are we having for our entree? Because
wait,
my
for entree
fish.
or for dessert?
No, for the meat. You're
Oh,
on
we
the
do a
meat
meat
now.
too. Okay, meat.
Well, I just did a very small piece of fish because Pam wanted me to go light.
Meat. I'm gonna do 1 lamb chop.
Oh, that's
Just
so
per person.
sad. I can't do it.
Just one.
I can't stop at one.
I know. Well, you know what? I'm gonna make a rack of lamb. 4 of us. I'm gonna only have a half a rack of lamb.
Okay, Pam
Four
can have the
chops.
one. There's 8 chops, right? There's 8 chops. So Pam can have the
Wait,
one.
No. I'm doing half of a rack of lamb.
Oh, you're doing a half
There is
a rack.
4 chops,
Okay,
so there is no choice in the matter.
that's so sad.
If you serve only 1 chop per person instead of the
I get
whole
it.
rack.
What are you gonna do to it?
So anyway, I'm gonna, since the barbecue is still on, I am definitely gonna cut them off. So I'm gonna take the rack, cut the chops off, and marinate them in a little bit of olive tapenade, and then beautiful. I have tons of chives in the garden, so I'm gonna use chives, fresh thyme blossom, and I'm gonna macerate those lamb chop at the beginning of our prep. So it macerate for about a couple of hours on the counter. Then I'm gonna clean them off and then throw them on the grill, cook them on the grill that way, and then take that sauce, that marinade, put it in a pan, cook it very slowly for about 5 minutes. Add some fresh zest, again, citrus, because that's what goes in there. I was talking about lemon balm earlier. You could put a few leaves of lemon balm in there to flavor that tapenade. And then I would use that. And then young spring potatoes. I love a beautiful pan of sauteed young potatoes because they got that sweetness that they're just so fun to have. I mean, sometimes potatoes are a little bit boring. It can get boring, but in spring, I love a good pan of roasted
Just with
potato.
butter.
Just butter and potato.
So let's go back to your lamb for 1 second.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with this. You've pre-cut your lamb. So if you're taking 1 rack I can see on a double chop, but on a single chop, how do you get enough brown on your lamb without overcooking the lamb chop? You have to have a cooking, I mean, a
Yeah.
cooking fire.
You gotta have a
It
super,
has to be as
super
hot and
fire.
as close to the coal as you
Yeah.
can get.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way to do it is
Yeah.
to have a super, super hot barbecue. And I would actually make it. Often, what I do is I move the coal in the baskets. I move it to the side. I try to reach 500, 550 on the barbecue, and then I open the lid, drop the chop, close the lid, leave it alone, and I only do it on one side.
Oh, so you're not really trying to get it. You
I'm-
got the lid on. You're not going to get the sear.
No. At the beginning, I keep the lid on because I want right off the beginning, I want that heat to hit the chops. Then I remove the lid. The flame, the flame on the coal will be existing, but not on the chop. So you're not burning the chop.
Yeah, see, you and I go about this very differently because
I know.
For me, I want that intense heat on my chop. I would leave the lid off completely. I would build my fire all the way to one side of my grill. I
Mhm.
only have 4 chops.
Right.
I would build my fire to the one side, and I would try and get it so that my fire is within a couple of inches of my grill grate, which is hard to do in a Weber.
Yeah, it's very
You
hot.
have to use one of the baskets that you can buy for
Yeah.
it. And then I put my chop on and try not to put a lot of olive oil on it or something because that's going to flame up and get black and sooty.
Right.
But I put my chop on and I let the flames come up and lick that baby.
Which is why I'm not doing that because
I know
have,
it's just not your nature.
I have
but
marinated already those chops
I know,
into the
I
into
know,
the
but now
olives.
you're going to have poached lamb chops on the
No,
grill.
no, you're not gonna have them poached.
Come on, you have to have
I
some heat,
mark
some
them. They
intensity.
believe me. There is mark of grill
I
on my
don't
chop.
think so.
I
don't think
do.
so. I'm just challenging that one.
You need to have it super hot and move it away and just not having the flame. That's all. But potatoes, lamb chops, and then of course on the side, a good.
We've already had asparagus and
Yeah, we've had asparagus, we've had carrots, we've had
probably good.
yeah, a good
All
salad.
right, for
would be-
dessert.
what comes to mind is a good salad from the garden, fresh, tender spring salad.
Yeah, after the chop. That sounds
Very,
good.
very
yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Just go away. Olive oil, salt, pepper,
Done.
maybe some fresh chervil
Lemon
in there.
juice. Yeah.
My favorite herb, and and then toss that together on the plate just to have the green tender.
Yeah. And I love the punch of some herbs in there.
Yeah.
So to me, I never personally, and when I was chef at my joints, never bought California strawberries.
No.
Unless it was right about this time of year. And honestly, I don't even know if it's appropriate anymore because it used to be you could get a decent first flush crop of spring California
Right.
Strawberries rather than the nonsense that they grow all year
Sure.
long, right?
Yeah,
Those
right,
kind of
right.
white centered,
Right.
barely pink on the outside strawberries. So, but between now and the beginning of the Washington crop, which isn't until say June 1 to June 15, if you want a fresh fruit like that, I mean, I would do rhubarb, but I'm not the biggest rhubarb fan. So, but
See, I
just
think that's- I
first
think-
flush of California strawberries can be good. You just have to go to a produce stand where the produce monger will actually let you take a taste.
Right. Right.
I think that's key. If not, you're better off using cold storage pears and cold storage apples and
Correct.
things that are local than buying
It will have more flavor.
cardboard strawberries from the grocery store at way too much money.
But I would focus on the rhubarb.
I know you.
That's
would,
what I
but
was going to do
don't.
if I was doing dessert.
Yeah. So I'm just going to make a little fresh strawberry tart, a little pâte brisée,
Sure.
a pre-bake or a blind bake shell, just a little vanilla custard
Yep.
pastry cream, and then beautiful little
Mm.
fresh strawberries on top. As
I
a
tell you,
spring dessert.
when everything is perfect on that, it's the most gorgeous dessert in the world.
I mean, just that simplicity, and whatever
Yeah.
fruit is good. You can even do that very same thing and do roasted pears on top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it works with anything. All right, that's our spring supper. It's been so delicious.
Mm.
Can't wait to be invited to my own spring meal. Food and Wine Magazine has this creative twist on carrot cake. Boy, carrots are front and center.
I
in our
think it's
show
a
today.
carrot
I
episode.
know. And we're going to talk about it when we come back on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Well, the contrast between the end of winter ones with that concentrated sweetness and then the new crop that's coming out, it's just all things carrots.
Yeah.
Use
No,
them
I mean,
both
it's-
ways.
I seriously, yesterday I was going through my garden, and I'm like, I cut a carrot in half. I was not even sure. I don't even know if it's from this year. Anyway, I pulled the rest piece of the ground and I cleaned it and ate it. I was like, oh
Wow.
shit, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so delicious.
The science of concentrating the sugars. I need to learn more.
Well, over winter vegetable
Mhm.
are so delicious. It's like leeks, that are ripe right now, that are beautiful, and over winter, it's really cool.
He loves the vacuum.
That's awesome. It's not even off. God, he looks so much like Loretta.
Doesn't he?
Holy mackerel. When he smiles like that, lift up his head and smile.
What's so weird is to be sitting there and just watch him walk down the hall. It's been for a year. He's just been a blob, and now he's just like whoosh.
Motoring.
Yeah, now you got to follow him. He doesn't hurt himself. By the way, Dufour is D-F-O-U-R.
That's why I asked you, Chef.
D-O?
D-U.
D-U-F-O-U-R.
Yeah.
Actually means of the oven.
Oh, good knowledge.
Which is odd because they sell it raw. It's never touched in ovens.
I think that it's meant to be in the oven.
So, Pamela, I'm remiss in not doing more work on a carrot cake recipe. You have one that you like? You make carrot cake at all?
Yeah, I do. I'm the classic cream cheese and
We're going
raisins.
to talk about that a little bit.
So this one was inspirational to me because having the cardamom and ginger in there.
God.
See?
That's what he just used.
Just said that.
Oh, you did?
Just used in his
My soup.
soup. with
Yeah,
carrots.
that combo.
No, it is a traditional, for real, good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, cardamom, beautiful fresh cardamom toasted that smell like oranges.
But I think it's a lesson for all cooking. It's just like,
Yeah.
think about your spices a little more because it's going to totally change the finished product.
By the way, I had
There you go.
Artichoke Wharf last night.
Man, he's eating out
They
a lot.
had a
You're retired, Chef. You're on a budget. Don't forget.
deconstructed carrot cake or whatever that was called. I think it was called carrot pop. It's okay.
We're back in the hot stove kitchen, having a good old time with carrots today. It's almost like the hot stove carrot show.
I think it's a carrot show.
I think it's
It's
a
a
carrot
carrot
show. I'm Tom Douglas.
And
We're
I'm Terry Roturo. What's up, Doc?
the chef in the chapeau, Mel Blanc right next to me. Pamela likes every week to add at least one thing that's from her hippie past. Or she's really not that much in the past, I'll say. But anyway, as our producer, she gets free reign on adding whatever she wants. So, Pam, why this segment? Why today? What struck you about our next carrot adventure?
Spring is in the air. Carrots is so visually and texturally appealing. And then I came across this Food and Wine magazine recipe for an inspired version of carrot cake. They call it spiced carrot cake with brown butter frosting. Taking it to a new level because I am used to a traditional preparation.
Which is what? Just
Just
grated carrots.
just grated carrot, a lot of oil, and a cream cheese frosting.
Brown
But-
sugar. I mean, what else
a
is
lot,
in your cake?
yeah.
Like a lot of carrot cakes have pineapple chunks in them.
Oh no
Like a
way!
can of pineapple.
Ick.
Yeah.
No
Really?
pineapple.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
Yes,
Yes.
I have seen that recipe and abhor it.
Whoa. Okay.
They
But
do-
does your more traditional or your historic version, does it have any spices in it? Does it have ginger? or-
only the tiniest amount of
Okay.
cinnamon, which is why this recipe calls for a warming blend of cardamom, ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And I'm like, that is
Yeah.
the holy quadruple.
Again,
right there.
make sure you use everything to the measurement that it is,
Because
asking
it can
for-
get overwhelming,
because
right?
you can be so overwhelming.
Yeah.
You're having 4 of the strongest spices on the planet, so you got to make sure that you don't overdo it, because you could kill your carrot cake and have no carrot flavor left in the end.
It could get almost bitter.
Well, no, it would be more like overpowering. Kind of, I don't know, you would get bitter, yes, but more importantly, you wouldn't have any carrot flavor, which is,
You want the
Well, I mean,
carrot to
I
shine
I
through.
would guess that if you're doing a carrot cake, you don't want to test beets, you want to test carrots.
Hmm.
You don't want to test cinnamon, you want to test carrot with some cinnamon.
And the other element that is surprising is the brown butter ghee. Now,
Yeah, that's exciting. That's
I
different.
don't use ghee, don't know, but this is a double duty in the cake batter as well as contributing a nutty flavor to the cream cheese frosting.
Well, there's only one way to get the nutty flavor into the frosting, I think. So ghee is Ghee, right? It's
Yeah,
what they
Indian.
often see in Indian cuisine, and it's basically clarified butter.
it's what it is.
But what they're talking about, at least when I read the recipe, is they take the clarified butter and use it in the cake.
Right.
And they take the whey, which is when you clarify the butter, you end up with the milk solids. Let that brown, and that becomes almost like a crumble.
Yeah.
And that goes into the cream cheese frosting.
But brown
Mm.
butter in pastry or in topping is definitely, or in a cake, is definitely a good addition.
Mhm.
You know, when I make madeleine, I always make brown butter madeleine. I tell you, it makes a difference,
Huge difference.
huge difference.
Yeah. My daughter, your goddaughter, Pamela, makes a brown butter Rice Krispie treat.
That
she
is brilliant.
She is well known for. She just mixes brown butter with the marshmallow, and
Ooh,
they're for being trashy good. And you know, trashy is one of my favorite
Sure.
things. They are trashy good. Yeah. So
that sounds
sadly, because I can't eat them, they're so fattening.
good. They're
Not
definitely
that I'm
rich.
a Mr.
It's
Diet,
sugar,
but
it's sugar and butter together.
yeah, lots of butter, lots of sugar.
Well, what
So-
is that in Grandma Dot's spaghetti? Is that
That's
brown
black
butter?
butter. So when you're browning butter, you just take whole butter. If you want them to stay together, I guess if you want them to be separate, then you have to strain out the milk solids. But when you clarify butter, you know the chef, correct me if I'm wrong. The fat comes to the top.
Correct. And the
Typically-
way
I mean,
it goes to
milk,
the bottom.
Milk boils to the top.
Right.
So you have to skim all the kind of milk that boils to the top,
Correct.
and some of the solids drop to the bottom.
Correct.
And the fat is right there. You can just see it. It's all
Right.
yellow and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So when you take that, if you want to maintain the whole thing like you do with brown butter or get all the way
Just
to
keep
black,
cooking it.
just keep cooking.
Cooking until it's totally brown.
And
It's
here's
very-
the thing. Oh, go ahead.
What I was going to say is, you know, when you're sauteing anything and you put butter in the pan, most people are afraid when it starts to get brown, they start, oh my God, I got to go. Wait, calm down. Just let it melt. Wait till it gets to that, not burned, but darker brown.
Hazelnut. Think
Yeah,
about a
haz-
hazelnut with a skin on it.
Golden brown. You want it to be past golden brown. You want it to be slightly brown. And then that's when your butter is called beurre noisette. That's when you get that gorgeous flavor from the butter, and the stage where once you put something in that pan, it does not keep going, so it's not going to burn unless you
Well-
get, you know,
Yeah. And it's also, you recognize now that it's hot enough to do sauteing in.
correct.
Sometimes when it's just a white foamy, it's not hot enough to actually, if you put something in there at that point, you're just going to boil it.
Yeah.
Because the moisture hasn't
Ah.
cooked off of the
You
butter.
can saute in white butter. That doesn't exist. I mean, that's not called saute.
Yeah, you're
Anyway.
you're literally almost poaching because you're
Back to the brown butter. It's a very good seasoning for many different things, for cooking, but also for flavoring. It's a beautiful product. I mean, if it says you need clarified butter in anything in pastries, you should definitely go the next step up, which is kind of the same idea as roasting versus boiling. You go to the next step up and make brown butter instead of clarified butter, then you have added flavor.
Will every butter achieve that result? Does the big brand,
Yeah.
American butters do
Yeah,
it
but if
as
you buy-
well as the beautiful Irish and English butters? Do they?
absolutely.
Brown
Yeah, if you
and-
buy ghee, Ghee, it's already clarified. So it's just the fat. The whey has already been siphoned off
You-
of it.
To get a good brown butter in a flavoring idea, keep the whey in
whole
there.
butter,
Keep
yeah.
the whole butter.
Yeah.
Don't separate the fat from the whey. Just keep the whole thing and keep cooking it on the fire. Watch it. When it gets to that brown color, that's when you're there. You remove it from the fire. You put it in a different container so it stops cooking, and it's ready. And it smells beautiful.
Yeah.
Now,
Now the black butter that I use for Grandma Dot's Greek spaghetti down at Lola, you
It's keep
literally,
going.
yeah, you literally just have to almost walk away. I mean, you never walk away from something that hot, but it literally go to brown and go to what looks like black, and then you let it go further until it's really burnt butter.
it's
And
a
that's
traditional.
part of the flavor profile of
Yeah,
that
it's a
dish.
traditional butter that's used on sole au beurre noir. So a sole, the fish, flat fish. Sole au beurre noir is a traditional dish in French with capers, usually with capers and a dash of white vinegar or lemon, and that's put right over the fish after it's cooked. So you cook your sole.
So that's beurre noir, which
Beurre
is
noir.
black
Yes,
rather than brown. Beurre
correct,
noisette.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. You go all the way, and then that's a different flavor. It's probably a lost tradition in most places. Beurre noisette is a little bit nicer and not quite burnt, so probably better for
It's
you.
easier to clean the pan afterwards.
It's easier to definitely easier to clean the pan.
But what a nice way to finish sole and just give it
Yeah.
that other
It's
depth.
just literally a different flavor. The only closest thing I can relate it to is when you're cooking with a wok, a hot wok, and it gets hot, and you think it's hot, and then you put some oil in it, and the oil just kind of sits there. It's not hot enough,
Right.
and then you let it go, right, and then the oil starts to smoke, and now you're starting to get to the spot you want to be, and just let it get to a real smoke, because that's part of that burnt oil flavor. And now it's not burnt as in sooty, but that really hot oil flavor is called the breath
Right.
of the wok, right? And it's part of the flavor profile of that hot sear that you get in Chinese restaurants, where they have 100,000 BTU burner that is just smoking hot, red hot iron wok. And that's just part of the flavor. And same with black butter compared to, say, white butter or brown butter.
And to go back to the carrot cake, if I was making a carrot cake, I would take shredded carrot and throw them in that wok just for
That'd be
30
fun.
seconds, and then add that to my batter, because that would bring a little crunchiness and a little flavor that you don't
Brilliant.
already have.
If you like that flavor.
Yeah, if you like that
that
flavor.
kind of smoky,
Yeah.
hot oil flavor.
But it would
So that's
add a
Terry's
nice
version.
It would add a nice little interesting flavor.
What would I do? Boy, I'm all about, I hate one of those big carrot cakes that's really thick and really wide, and you end up with so little crust per carrot cake. So I would make mine in little tiny squares. They make those silicone pans or carrot muffins or something where I can get more brown, more crust per inch of my cake. And that to me would help me get to a place where a carrot cake is actually enjoyable.
There's another way to get to that, is to use a small a sheet pan, only 1.5 2 inches thick. Put the batter in there, and instead of trying to do 4 inches of batter in the pan, you do 1 inch. Your carrot cake is
And you
going to
get a
rise
great
slightly,
crust.
and now you'll have crust everywhere.
Crust is everything. Crust is king, right?
course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, you say of course, but you go to so many restaurants where they have carrot cake, or there's no
No,
crust.
I'm with you. Crust is where the flavor. I mean, who doesn't enjoy crust? It's
Well,
the
that
best part.
Piedmontese cake, the
That
hazelnut
came
cake,
out good, didn't it?
but that was in the small little
Yeah.
rounds, and it had just crust for days.
Right, and that was about 50% nuts in that particular cake that we.
Yeah,
did
it
on
had
Saturday.
beautiful texture.
Love that cake and that little chocolate. What was the name of the hazelnut
Sleety.
chocolate?
The chocolate producer was Sleety. I didn't look at the price when I bought it. Those little jars were $28 a
Holy
piece.
smokes.
Oh, my mama.
And you remember that I was paying that night.
You
Do
remember that.
part? Not only was I cooking, but I was paying for our dear friends. At
Yeah,
Fair
but that
Start.
was delicious.
That was delicious. Thank you for that. I don't even know how to describe our next segment. If you're waiting for food for thought, tasty trivia, please just stand by. And Pamela, when we come back, will explain what we're going to do on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
I like how we went from carrot cake to the wok, all the way back to the carrot cake.
Well, we would never gotten back there without you, chef. So
But thank you.
Very
I was
proud
trying
of
to
you.
Bringing it back.
bring it back because I was like, there's only 1 minute left. We have mentioned the carrot cake for about 10 seconds.
We need our colleagues.
he got rolled over there?
I think they're called rolling pins.
Oh, that's what they are?
Yeah,
Look
it's a
like the pastry
dumpling
thing.
challenge. They have to roll out the dumpling wraps.
Oh, got it. How many people are coming to this?
Doesn't look like that many.
This one's 12, but then we have 37 tonight. So 12's great, 37's.
What's tonight?
With company, they're doing like several things. They're doing like a lunch event where they're getting cookies downstairs at noon, and I think they're doing breakfast and dinner tomorrow.
Really?
So I think
This is the difference between having a new salesperson and Crystal, I believe. You think that's true, Pam? These last couple of groups that have used us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Is this the difference between having Crystal and our new salesperson, or what? Why?
Was Dow built on the calendar from a long time ago? I don't know if it was a Beverly sale or a Crystal sale.
It was Beverly.
Yeah. So it's a person besides Melissa that's doing the group sales.
And Diane that charmed her.
And Diane the Charmer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing?
She got dressed up for the radio. Don't think she realized.
I know. I don't think she realized there was no cameras. Oh, there is one, but they're gonna see your back.
Darn it.
Wonder how Crystal's doing. I haven't seen or heard of her since she left. You don't know Crystal. She was here
I remember her.
17 years, though. Hope she's doing good over there in Montana.
Oh, she moved to Montana?
Yeah.
She's building a house.
Oh, building.
Yeah.
Where in Montana? Do you know?
Mhm.
I mean, it's a big state. It's a big state with not much of it, isn't it? I remember coming back from Driggs, Idaho, all the way to Seattle, and holy mackerel, that was a long distance out of nothing. Okay. Well, no, it's a big state, man. I'm like 8 hours driving.
Yeah.
8 hours driving, and you see one guy who lives 50 yards from the freeway in the middle of like nowhere, and you're like, who lives here?
Is Annie in the walk-in? Where?
She ran away.
Does she know?
Hopefully.
Does she know she's coming on? I think it's a surprise. So what are we doing here? What are we talking about?
We're doing a speed interview. 5 questions tailored to you.
How come you're so handsome? I don't know. I just can't help it.
Is she in the bathroom?
Why hasn't she given us any of these cookies she's been making?
Oh, that carrot tart. That sounded delicious. Oh.
Yeah, I think she's across the street.
Where is she?
No, that's ET.
Would you rather be in front of the camera?
No.
Yeah.
I find
They
most
should.
people don't
Can
wanna
you
be.
put them up there? Annie's gonna be with her.
Is Diane with us today? Are you getting interviewed?
Yeah.
Oh, you are
Yeah,
getting
no,
interviewed
no.
too?
Yeah. Move them up front.
My mic?
No.
Sure.
So that's a yes on
Yeah, that's a yes. The cuteness factor.
You're coming right here.
We just launched our YouTube, so no one.
We need it to be adorable. That's why we need.
We need good-looking people.
Exactly.
On the channel.
That's why we need.
I mean, we need somebody like you. Exactly. Look at her. She's dressed up to the T. Hi, I'm Tom's assistant. I make Tom look good.
Make him look pretty.
That's where the party's at. I will look for that cookbook. I didn't remember if I had it.
How do we what?
I didn't remember having the Ericsson's. book, but
Yeah,
I
she
looked.
signed one for you. I thought I
Oh,
gave.
that might be. I'll look for it. So did we lose Annie? What's going on?
We were so far ahead.
We still are. For another 16 minutes, we're ahead.
I know. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
She's on room 12. Floor 9. Yeah, she's probably ran out of carrots. You gotta go get them across the street.
All right, let's grab ET. Do we for ET or not?
Sure.
So do we know where she is? Why don't we call her?
I did.
She didn't answer. She probably has her phone. She probably left her phone right here. Oh. Keep calling her and texting her. It's not going anywhere. Call across the street, see if she's there.
Nah, we can let's just proceed. We'll get ET to do it.
You didn't know you're on the radio.
Why don't you come jump in for Annie? You know, if I had said
I
that.
know. We can say that over here, but over there you can't. We're live on, by the way, we're live on YouTube, so.
Where's your microphone?
Yeah, she's
here.
coming back there.
She's gonna be here.
Okay.
You're doing it together as a team. Wonder team.
Let's hear your beautiful voice on there, Diane. No, you have to talk right up to just like this.
Like this?
Like that. Perfect.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to be loud.
Okay.
Jesus, where the hell you been?
Oh, E.T. saved by the gong. Oh, you got.
We were so far ahead.
Oh, that's where you
They're ahead. Time to go.
Come on,
for
let's
our
go.
speed
We're
round interview.
waiting
Thank
20
you,
minutes for
Eric.
you. It's work, you know.
I love that.
Oh, look at a microphone that fits both of them.
That is so adorable. I can't stand
I'm
it.
half an inch taller than her.
I'm wearing a little bit of a heel, so I think I might be taller today.
I can get out that little the Xiao Ching Chow stage thing if you want.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm not that short.
Amy, could you do the cutest picture of this? My heart is breaking open.
I know. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
We're back in the kitchen at the Hot Stove Society, 4th of Virginia, downtown Seattle. Hotel Andra. Hi, chef in the chapeau.
Hello, Mr. Douglas. This is Thierry Roturo, and very happy to see this new segment Pamela came up with.
Yes, it's called Getting Personal with Tom, Terry, Annie, and Diane. We're joined by Annie Elmore, one of the chefs and presenters here at the Hot Stove Society, and Diane Cruz, who kind of runs sales and marketing here at the Hot Stove, along with Pamela. So, Pam, what did you have in mind here, since everyone listening has been waiting for Tasty Trivia, and you have now decided?
I've decided I want to get to know you all better, and I want our listeners to know more about the people that go into making this all happen.
Okay.
So we're doing a speed interview, questions that are tailored to each of you, and I want fast, short answers.
And then who wins a prize? Does anyone win a prize?
Yes, the woman who made those walnut cookies for us,
Irina.
Irina Mikalchek, and we are going to mail her a very sweet surprise
Okay.
as a thank
Nice.
All right.
We're
I mean,
starting
you can put in her cookies.
exactly. And Terry, we're starting with you.
Go ahead.
Short and fast. Which region in France has your favorite food?
South of France, Provence.
Where does his mother live?
And
No,
where does your mother live?
my mother
No,
lives.
I was joking.
My mother lives in a small town called Saint-Hilaire de Loulay, which is a town of about 2,000 people.
Number 2, is there a popular French dish you do not enjoy?
Sardine.
No, then I do not enjoy. Yeah, there are a few. I would say tripes is probably my least favorite.
Good answer. What is the most complicated French dish to prepare?
They all are complicated.
Okay, that's your. It's supposed to be short and sweet.
I am. That's my answer. No,
All right.
they're all complicated. I mean, short, complicated. How about a boeuf bourguignon, contrarily to what most people think?
Excellent. What is your favorite French wine region and why?
Burgundy, because they have the best white and red in the world.
Excellent. And what are the most consumed vegetables in France?
All of them. I mean, carrots, onions, celery. I don't know what's the
Tom,
most
don't
consumed
roll your
vegetable.
eyes.
Which one is the most consumed? I don't know.
Thank you for the insight to your personality.
You're welcome.
Charming.
Now we're going to the
Charming.
team of Annie and Diane, who are both going to answer. They're our Cambodian and Filipino
Annie?
co-workers.
Don't mess it up. I got the right answers.
And we'll, Annie, you'll start the round, and then Diane chime in right after. What was your favorite food growing up?
Congee.
Fried chicken, but the skin only.
Which do
Wow,
you
fried
like
chicken skin.
more, sweet or savory food?
Savory.
Sweet. I
Yeah.
would have a sweet tooth.
There's a box of Reese's on her desk.
I know. What food do you want to learn how to make?
Pretty much anything I cook, I think.
Cajun food.
Cajun?
Yes.
Diane?
There's this Filipino dish that we usually make or buy takeout because it's hard to make, but it's called kare kare, and it's like an oxtail stew with peanut sauce.
Ooh, yeah, let's
So
learn that.
kari is the word for peanut? Oh, okay.
What kind of Filipino are you?
Next one. What is your favorite herb or spice?
Mint.
Oh. Diane?
Does Tom's seafood rub count?
No.
That's not,
So that's
not
like
an
a
herb.
curry chive. The seafood roll is like a curry chive.
So that's a spice.
And finally, what food do you prepare when friends come to your house?
Well, she has no friends.
She has a lot of it in
Rice
mind.
and soy sauce.
Nice.
Oh, come on.
Funny enough, my friends really like Italian food, so
Yeah.
that's my go-to.
And you're great at it.
But don't you make a lot of Hungarian food because your husband is Hungarian?
Well, when my mother-in-law in town, yes, Hungarian food.
What's
and
your
she-
favorite Hungarian dish?
I don't know the name, but it's like pork butt braised with sauerkraut, lots of paprika and caraway seeds, and then you finish it with a little bit of sour cream.
So like paprikash type thing?
Yeah, but it's with pork butt, and you don't sear anything. You just throw the whole thing together, and then you braise it.
Really?
Yeah, and then the sauerkraut really helps to cut the fat
Right.
of the pork butt.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
Diane,
Yeah.
what do you make for your friends?
I make this Korean dish called tteokbokki, which is spicy rice cakes, but I don't put too much spicy because I can't handle that much.
So is it just like sticky rice cakes, or is it well, what's in the rice cake itself?
Rice.
Fish cake, rice cake,
Green onions.
green onions, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and like an anchovy broth.
Beautiful.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, Tom.
Okay.
What food do you want to learn how to make?
Well, I've been so influenced by Vietnamese food with the fresh herbs and all of that over all the years that I've been cooking that I don't know much about Korean food, and I know nothing about Cambodian food, and I know nothing about Filipino food. So I'd like to explore more of Southeast Asia.
All right, let's do that. What was your worst kitchen disaster?
I've had so many.
That's why I'm laughing.
We were just talking the other night at our catering about I was out at a catering at an office building, and all the catering team forgot to pack any burners.
Ooh.
And so I had to cook on the hot plate from a coffee pot.
Oh no!
That sort of drips through into the pot, and then the plate stays hot on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
seared my
stop it.
salmon on the hot plate of the
Oh
pot.
my god! Is that real?
That's real, yeah.
Oh my god!
Talking
Hey, you
about
do what you got
challenge.
to do.
That's true.
Do you cook more with butter or olive oil?
Boy, because they just present themselves so differently. I would say butter, probably. But the thing that people don't do, which I think is they should explore, is deep frying with olive oil.
Mhm.
Whoa.
Because so often when you deep fry, it tastes like the fryer, right?
Right.
It has nothing to go on, but olive oil maintains an integrity that adds a beautiful flavor when you deep fry it.
What is your favorite cut of beef? Short and sweet.
I like skirt steak.
Woo! Big
Yeah, some
We
surprise.
often call it like a hanger or a skirt. They call it the chef's cut sometimes because it used to be a throwaway, or I was just kind of get thrown in the ground beef or something. But it is so flavorful and has nice texture, and it cooks fast. And
Excellent.
Mm,
And
bavette.
finally, what is the next country you want to visit to learn about their cuisine?
boy, so many.
The Philippines.
Well, certainly the Philippines, but I love kind of the mix that's happening in Australia with all the Indonesian, Singapore.
yeah.
I was there. I
all of
was there.
that,
It is
kind of-
really
Yeah.
cool.
that kind of mixture, because I've always cooked that mixture with kind of my Caucasian background, and that mixture of Asian and Australian
Oh
kind of.
yeah.
I think that's a really fun area.
They definitely a melting pot down there
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
There's a
it's
woman named Donna Hay who wrote a bunch of books about that kind of melting pot, and I'm always fascinated by it.
Well, thank you, team. This was the getting to know the stars of
Cool.
Hot Stove Radio.
Of course, you forgot.
Yeah.
You forgot Mr. Sean over there.
Oh, we'll do him
get
next.
Sean next. Okay. When we come back, we're not coming back. That segment was brought to you by Rub with Love, a family of spice blends, tangy sauces, and a perfect mustard. Keep them in your pantry to dress up any meal. You can be sure to love them because I made them. You can buy them at any local grocery store, including Thriftway stores on Vashon Island, in West Seattle, Ballinger, plus more. And our friends in Portland, you'll find us at Zupan's, New Seasons, Market of Choice, and Gardener's Meats. Of course, you can find them all over the place, but look for them at Tom Douglas online if you want the complete lineup of products. There's 19 different rubs and all. Our prize winner today, Pam, is
Irina Mikhalchuk, the beautiful Ukrainian baker.
nice job. If you want to be part of our show, you can join our community on YouTube. Get the link on our Tom Douglas website. You're listening to us on Cairo Radio 97.3 FM. Show's produced by Pam Hinckley, Sean McFadden, and our editor is Sean Don't Call Me Del Torre. And if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe with your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening and have a fabulous weekend.
All right, quiet on the set. Hi, I'm Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Thierry Roturo, the chef in a hat.
This afternoon on the Hot Stove Society radio show, we talk about peak of the season artichokes. It's Persian New Year time. Let's talk to Kian about it. Savory puff pastry tarts and building a spring dinner party. Yes. We need to clarify with Sean how much time we have for our promo. We need to clarify with Sean Dottore how much time we have
Thank
for
you,
our
sir.
promo, because
the carrot.
I'm going by feel, and I don't necessarily know. Like, do I,
I think
have
we're
10
carrot out
seconds or
today.
15
I know.
seconds?
We
car-
did our duty to
we
the
ca-
carrots.
The carrot board should send us a check.
Exactly. I think maybe I'll start a carrot board.
Thank you, YouTube viewers.
Thanks for doing that on short
Always
notice,
appreciate it.
everybody. Thank you. Adios.